What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for The Real Housewives of New York City, season 15, episode 3, you guys. In this episode, it was titled Dramamine Drama. Now, before we get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss this episode of The Real Housewives of New York City. Shall we? Man, y'all are tripping today. All right, you guys. So this episode, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Overall, this episode, I don't know, you guys. The verdict is still out when it comes to New York. I don't hate the show, and I don't hate this. I think the problem is the fact that the girls are still trying. I feel like the girls are still trying to get to know one another, and the friendships. It just I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Oh, I am so freaking pissed right about now. My bad, you guys. It's work because I have my work computer. So I'm doing some work while I'm also doing this live. And these people are driving me crazy, bro. Like, I know we're getting back to now where y'all used to be. But this episode, so you guys know that the girls are all heading to the Hamptons, right? So they all show up to Aaron's house. So Aaron's house, it looks nice, right? You guys, it looks nice. You know, Aaron has done some upgrades to the house. So I think the first ones that were there were Bren, Jessel, and what's her name? Rebecca, right? I still don't understand Rebecca, but it is what it is. So we also found out that Raquel came by herself. And the reason that Raquel came by herself was because the reason that Raquel came by herself was because of the fact that um what happened? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting I'm getting distracted. The reason that Raquel came by herself is because she had I guess she was gonna come with Sai and Uba, but she wanted to ride in the front seat of the car because I guess in the back seat of the car she gets motion sickness, but neither one of them wanted to let her ride up front, I guess. And this is something that Aaron is telling when when Uba and Sai got there, right? So when Raquel got there, Sai decided to pull Raquel to the side and have the conversation with Raquel. And when they had the conversation, I guess it was just a complete misunderstanding between the two. And they were able to, nip it in the bud right then and there. So then we see Uba. So Uba pulled Bren aside because she feels that Bren and Sai should have a conversation with each other. And my whole thing is, if they were going to have a conversation with each other, that should have been something that they decided that they wanted to do, not something that you facilitate, right? So then we do see as Sai came over, they did have the conversation with each other, right? So Bren immediately just apologizes to Sai. And I was like, well, that was very big of Bren. But then Sai had an issue with that. And I was like, girl, why do you have an issue with her apologizing? So then Sai wants to say, well, the reason that I have an issue with you right now is because you're not hearing me out. You're not listening to me. And I was like, say what now? But she apologized to you. So I'm confused. I was so confused because she's saying she feels like Bren is not listening to her and she isn't hearing her out. And I was like, um, okay, I guess. I mean, again, still confused by it, but if that's what you want to say, girlfriend, then go ahead and say it, right? So after that, they call Jenna over, right? Because this is where Sai is letting her know what she feels and how she feels about the whole situation of telling Jenna that she hated her. And I was like, girl, you're gonna really hold on to this one, huh? You're really gonna hold on to this. She told Jenna that I hate her. I was like, okay, girl. Okay, cool. And so they called Jenna over, and when Jenna came over, now you guys know I do like Jenna, but Jenna lost me in this particular moment because Sai is telling Jenna, like, when we originally talked at her party, you said it was this one that said that she hated you. And so now she's talking about, well, I didn't say that. And I'm like, Mama, it's on camera. You definitely said it. It was this one over here. And I actually felt Sai's frustration in that particular moment. Like I understood her frustrations. So again, I was like, Jenna, and Jenna said, well, I don't remember saying it, but if I did say it, she's like, it wasn't just her, it was other people who said it. And I was like, okay. But you specifically said it was this one over here talking about Brain. But then here's my thing going back to Sai. You gone I guess you've gone around and said you didn't care for her or you didn't like her. Now, yes, hate is a strong word, but let's not act like it's still, I don't like her, I hate her. Those things are still pretty synonymous to one another. So you're playing a game of semantics at this point. Is where we at. You're playing a game of semantics. So I guess at one they it started getting a little heated. So Sai walked away, but then we see as she and Brandon hugged each other and made up with each other. I was like, this is so weird. But again, like I've said before, I'm okay with the small petty drama. I'm cool with it. But it's just I think with the ladies is a bit of growing pains there because again they don't really know each other like that because when they put this cast together, these women may have known of each other, but they weren't friends with one another. So yeah, they weren't friends with each other at the time. So I'm just kind of confused, right? But hey, it is what it is. All right, you guys. So moving on. So we see as the ladies, they all sat down, and we see as Aaron and Jenna, they both have gifts for the girls, right? So I don't know what the gifts were that because they didn't really open whatever it was that Aaron had sent to the girls, but they did open the gifts from what's her name? Jenna. So Jenna gave them some lingerie, and she also gave it was so funny. She gave Jessel, what did she give Jessel? Oh, a Christmas tree. Because you guys remember last season with Jessel that she was so upset about the gift that she had given her last season, and she said it looked like a Christmas tree. Well, she gave her a Christmas tree as a ha ha moment. I was like, oh, that was very funny, and actually very cute. Like I was here for it, you guys. But let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments section, you guys. And that's really it. Now, when it comes to this episode didn't give me a whole lot to go on, so I don't necessarily expect to be on here any length of time for this review. So after that, we see as ladies they went out for dinner, right? And when they went out to dinner, and when they went to dinner, somebody made a comment about what's her name, Jessel, and the fact that her voice is very whiny, and I was like, I do agree with that. Like, girl, your voice is absolutely 100% whiny. It's definitely whiny. So they talked to Raquel. We're getting a little bit of backstory about Raquel and how she got into the art world and all that kind of stuff. Then, she told us about that. And she also talked about how she and Mel met each other, how they got engaged. Now, what I will say is with that engagement ring is just, I mean, it's her engagement ring. She picked it out and she likes it. But yeah, ma'am, it's an interesting engagement ring. Very interesting. Now, I did see yesterday on Twitter that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Raquel and Jenna were both on Sherry Shepherd's show, and we found out that Jenna got engaged. I think she got engaged during the season. So congratulations to Jenna. Um, what I will say when it comes to Bryn, it gets on my nerves when I see Bryn, and I don't know what the shtick is when it comes to lesbian women. It just I don't get it. How I mean, she just comes off very thirsty I think I know she's joking, but it seems very thirsty if coming from me personally, just how I feel. But you guys can let me know what you think, what you feel in the comment section below, and we will go ahead and just keep moving, you guys. So then they also got into Rebecca's story. Honestly, with Rebecca's story, I wasn't listening too much because I couldn't, I wasn't that interested because she was talking about a guy that she lived with, the guy that she lost her virginity to. Now, I did think it was weird when she said that her parents said that if she didn't do any drugs or anything, that they would give her birth control. So she had sex with one of her boyfriends. I was like, that's weird and interesting, but okay, like very interesting, extremely interesting. Yeah, that was odd to me. I thought that was insanely odd. I thought that was insanely odd, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, after that, we see as the girls got back to the house, right? So when they got back to the house, everyone's getting ready to go to bed, right? So we see Uba, Jessel, and Aaron downstairs in the kitchen, and they're talking, right? Now, what I will say is I do agree with Uba in the fact that these girls are like pigeons, that they do go around and tell. But she was right at the end of the episode. The biggest pigeon in this group is Bryn because they play a game of telephone, right? And literal telephone, and it's sometimes literal telephone, like where they're talking. You could be talking to one person, and then you go and tell the other person what was said about them. So I get where she's coming from, but I think she's overreacting a little bit because she feels a way about Cy and about Brand and them just making up. But I'm like, girl, you were the one that wanted them to sit down and have a conversation with each other. So what are you so upset about? Like I was hella confused. So then Brand came down and she's telling how she's talking to Bren and telling Bren, about the stuff with her and Cy. And I'm like, Mama, you wanted them to make up with each other. They made up with each other. What's the big issue now? If you think it's fake and stuff, cool. You think it's fake, but you are the one that facilitated them sitting down and having a conversation with each other. So I'm entirely confused by this whole situation. So now Bren and Uba are going back and forth with each other. And I'm like, girl, what the hell is going on here? Like, I'm just confused as the goose. I was so confused. And then when they were getting, as they were getting louder and louder, I was like, this seems like two high school kids, two elementary school kids just arguing with each other over nothing. So I guess they went to bed. So the next morning they all wake up. Everybody's having conversations with each other, right? And so they go outside, and you can tell it's cold out there because I mean the way that they're dressed, it's cold. So they sit down, and Uba let the girls know that not Aaron, but Sai is not coming down because Sai feels like she is being used as a pawn. And I was like, how are you being used as a pawn, Sai? Like I was very confused by that comment that she's being used as a pawn. Because here's the thing. You said something about Jenna. It got back to Jenna. Now it may have gotten misconstrued and it may have gotten lost in translation, but you ultimately said something about her. The thing with Raquel, I don't think Aaron could have been being messy, but Aaron was also just saying the reason why she came by herself was because of her not being able to ride in the front seat. So I don't know how you feel like you are upon. Then Uber, I think you were putting 20 on 10 when it comes to Bren. I think you already have an issue with Bren, and because of that issue with Bren, you then decide that you want to use this moment to speak up for Sai, but also vent your frustrations to Bren. Am I okay with it? It is what it is, right? So now Uba is going back and forth with Bren, and I'm like, this. I didn't understand what they were arguing about. Like I really was confused. And that was really what where the episode ended, them two going back and forth. Like I said, I do agree with her when she called um her the biggest pigeon. I was like, I agree, I'll give you that. I absolutely will. Because she is a big pigeon that takes stuff and misconstrues it and just flips it all the way around. So I will give you that. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on, you guys. Share the video. And until the next time, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.